Buying foods that are grown and produced locally is not only a good thing to do in terms of quality of the products that you buy, it's a terrific way to support your community. Roadside stands, farmers markets, local farms, and you are all a part of an exciting dynamic that contributes to a thriving and sustainable community. Today's show, Attack of the Tubers, all about sweet potatoes. We've got an amazing meal lined up for you. How about a sweet potato and leek soup? Also, we've got a seared pork tenderloin with grilled asparagus, caramelized onions, and the star of the show, the sweet potato gratin. After that, we've got a wonderful finish for you, a purple sweet potato panna cotta. But first, we're off to my friends at Pine Knots Farm, organic growers of sweet potatoes. I'm here with Stanley Hughes from Pine Knot Farms. Stanley, hello, thank you so much for letting us come on your farm today. Tell me a little bit about the farm.
My grandfather bought this farm from R.A. Baines back in 1912. It was 125 acres, and that's where we still farming the whole farm. Well, we grow collards, kale, and sweet potatoes and the other vegetables, fresh market vegetables for the farmer's market. Mm-hmm. In our line of produce, we sort of do a specialty line of greens, what they can rely on. Like, we're gonna be like the only one carrying collards, kale, sweet potatoes year round, so they can always look for that. If they can't find it nowhere else, they can come, because a lot of our customers come, oh, I don't know y'all still have kale this time of year when it's hot. See, we plant like 2 crops, cold crops, and we sort of like specialize with greens.
So your specialty is
greens and sweet potatoes, so we can sort of keep that on their table year round if they want it.
Well, the one thing that you mentioned to me was sweet potatoes. Let's go down the hill and dig up a few sweet potatoes.
Okay, we can do that.
These are the starts of something that is near and dear to my heart. Stanley, what can you tell us about these purple sweets?
There you go.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Look at that, folks. Isn't that gorgeous? Look, 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 look. Beautiful. This is the purple sweet potato. You know, not all sweet potatoes are created equal. They have twice the antioxidants of your standard sweet potato. Beta carotene, all that great stuff is also found in these. But you don't get any fresher than digging them with Stanley here. I'll tell you, organically grown as well. All these roots will become their own sweet potatoes. You can tell we've got all different sizes in here right now, ready to go. These purple sweet potatoes will make a great sweet potato butter. Stanley, I know you're busy and I can't thank you enough this afternoon. Thank you for letting me come dig some sweet potatoes with you.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you. We'll see you around the markets.
All right.
Isn't Pine Knot Farms a groovy place? Well, we're back in the kitchen here for our sweet potato and leek soup. Here I've got some rough chopped sweet potatoes. We've just taken the sweet potato, peeled the sweet potato, and rough chopped. And we've also got some leeks that have been rough chopped. I've taken the leeks and soaked them in some ice water for at least an hour. And right now, we're gonna go into our sauce pot with a little bit of olive oil, about 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and our leeks. You just want them to brown up a little bit before we add our broth and our sweet potatoes. And now we're ready to add our sweet potatoes and our broth and buttermilk. Sweet potatoes. Buttermilk first, so it doesn't curdle. And then about a quart of veggie stock. You can buy yours in the supermarket. I've made mine here. I'll pop a lid on that, let her simmer away, turn our heat up a little bit. Now, earlier today, I made one of these. So I've got one ready to go right here. And all it requires is just a little bit more vegetable broth. I got about a cup and a half here that I'm gonna add to our soup here. This, by the way, has gone into a blender and has been blended to your liking. I like mine a little bit chunkier. All right, we're gonna bring this up to a simmer, and then it's ready to go. We'll be right back with more Thankfully Local with Chef Chuck. This is the Carrboro Farmers Market, Locavore Central in North Carolina, where I live. And let me tell you, I have been working with these farms one-on-one for almost 12 years. There's always something great here, and there's always something different here. A different farm with a different crop and something excellent and tasty. Let's go see what they have to eat, shall we? Part of what's great about coming to the markets in North Carolina is there's always new vendors. Every Wednesday and every Saturday, somebody new is in town. This is Marty, and Marty, you raise honeybees.
Right.
Tell me about what you do.
Right. So we got into beekeeping about 2.5 years ago because once we first got our first hive, we found out after we did our first honey harvest that each hive will have a different flavor source because of the flora that they have access to.
Really?
Yeah. So what we did is we created the Orange County Honey Project, based because we put hives around the entire county. All those hives will have a different flavor, and then we blend all those flavors at the honeyry, and then we get Orange County. And so since Mother Nature has a different flora source, we put all that into the bottle. So North Carolina's going to have a different flavor source than, say, Virginia. And so once we realized that, we got kind of excited at that. We're trying to give the flavor of home. And so we have the 5 human senses. And since everybody understands them, we can see, touch, and smell everything, but we don't know what home tastes like. Honeybees are that vehicle, and through honey, a liquid time medium, we get a chance to understand what home tastes like.
What home tastes like. There could be never a better theme than that. What home tastes like. You know I'm gonna try anything you got that you can put in front of me. I love it. I love your cheeses.
Some of the stuff that we have here today, these black trumpets, and you can smell them. They have a really nice fruity apricot scent to them.
Absolutely, very earthy, very apricot-like.
Yeah, they're a close relative to the more widely known the golden chanterelles. But these black trumpets are found here around waterways.
Wow.
You know, we have a number of other varieties that we wild harvest. The maitake, hen of the woods, is an excellent culinary mushroom that's found wild in this area.
What are the benefits of cooking with reishi?
Well, the reishi is known in Chinese medicine as the mushroom of immortality.
Really?
And so it has really powerful medicinal properties. It's an immunomodulator, so it helps your immune system deal either when you're under attack from bacteria or viruses and stuff like that. It can help boost your immune system, but then it also can help dampen the immune response to autoimmune type things like arthritis, allergies, things like that. So it's a really potent medicinal mushroom and very valuable.
So Rob, why did you choose to sell these beautiful mushrooms in a farmer's market environment?
Well, you know, the farmers market is a great place that gives farmers an opportunity to interface with the community. Folks that really believe in local food, sustainably raised food, where they have an opportunity to speak directly with the farmers and find out the practices, the sustainable practices of the farmers, and learn about all of the wide variety of fruits and vegetables and fungi that are available in their local communities.
Whitney is here from Elysian Fields Farms. Whitney, why do you bring produce to the farmers market in our community?
Why do we do it? Well, it's good business for one thing around here, but no, I think we all feel pretty passionate about the environment, about eating seasonally, and about the community here. That's one reason I kind of started coming to market. It's a really tight community, a lot of wonderful, supportive people, and a lot of laughs, really. You find a lot of people who are really into healthy food, who are concerned about, you know, pesticides maybe in big ag, or you've got people who want to keep their money local. Community values, really, like kind of what brings this place together. Here in the Triangle, you don't have a lot of people who are from this area. You got a lot of transients, really, and so for people who maybe grew up in church or maybe don't go anymore, but they want some kind of weekly ritual, you know, this is where they come for that. And they're seeing the same faces, happy handshakes and hugs as they walk around. It's that kind of thing.
I remember what it's like to be hungry, but let me tell you, it's great to pick up your groceries weekly at your farmers markets on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but also about giving back. We'll be right back with more Thankfully Local with Chef Chuck. Up next, the star of our pork tenderloin dinner, the sweet potato gratin, or au gratin, or gratin. Wherever you're from in the country, it means ooey, gooey deliciousness. What I've got here is just a little pan spray, and I'm going to pan spray this glass casserole dish here. Just get it good and coated, because you know somebody's got to wash that dish later. Now, also, I've got some really thinly sliced sweet potatoes. Just depends on what kind you can find at your neighborhood market. And we're going to layer this, just like we're layering any other common casserole, across one another. Doesn't really matter, as long as they're about the same slice and circumference around. There we go. Next, we're going to add our shredded cheese blend. This guy is what makes it oobly, boobly, bubbly. Just gonna drop a little bit on each sweet potato here, a couple handfuls worth. You know, if you like cheese, great. If you're not crazy about cheese, you know, you can find all different kinds of other things to use in these gratins. For me, cheese is the star of the show, but you can use some veggies or some vegan cheese as well. I've got some sweet, thinly sliced onion here. I like adding a little bit of crispness to my gratin, and a little bit of sweetness, and that's what the onion's purpose is. Lastly, I've got a little bit of dried herb blend that I'm gonna drop in here before adding our cream. See how that makes for a little bit of flavor and a little bit of color. And finally, a little bit of heavy cream on each layer. You know, this is the European recipe that my grandmother taught me. A lot of people these days, a lot of chefs these days and age, they'll take the blend, the cheese blend, and they'll add the herbs and everything else, the cream and all this all together. Remember, there's more than one ways to do these dishes. I prefer it this way, but you know, there's always different ways to do recipes. That's the beauty of having more one. We say in the South, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's the truth. All right, some more cheese. Woohoo! Love cheese. Right. More dry herbs. A little bit more sweet onion. And some cream. I'm going to do this for each layer. A little bit more cheese there. Earlier, I put one in an oven, 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Let's take a look. I like mine on the runnier side. But if you want one that's more firm, you can put it back in the oven, 350 degrees, for 20 to 25 more minutes, and it'll come up nice and firm for you. Shelly, oftentimes I hear about sweet potatoes being a superfood. What can you tell us about the characteristics of sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes are great food because they're a low glycemic index carbohydrate, which means they don't spike your blood sugar so much. They're also loaded with soluble fiber, which helps with cholesterol, and they have tons of beta carotene, which is the precursor to vitamin A, essential for bone health, skin integrity, and a great antioxidant. Now for our main course, the pork tenderloin. In a skillet here, I've got some extra virgin olive oil, about 2 teaspoons. Now I've chopped finely 1 sweet onion. About a julienne cut. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure it gets good and spread through the pan. I'm going to cook these until they're about translucent. They say translucent, nice and clear. (30, 45 seconds or so, nice and clear. We don't want to make sure they're caramelized, just translucent. To the pan, I'm going to add my pork tenderloin, which is our main course today. I've salted, peppered, and added a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to this tenderloin. I love this dish. You know, North Carolina, where I'm from, is one of the top pork producers in the country, if not in the world. And this is the leanest cut of pork that you can find. I'm going to make sure that we sear this pork tenderloin and get it nice and brown on both sides. Don't want to burn our onions. Now, here comes the exciting part. A little bit of salt and pepper to the onions and to the tenderloin. A little bit of dry herb blend. I prefer the Italian seasoning. It's got all that rosemary and oregano, all that good stuff. Finally, about a 1/4 cup of sherry cooking wine. You can find this in your supermarket. It adds a tremendous flavor to our pork tenderloin. I'm going to let this continue searing for just a second. Then we're going to go on to a pre-oiled sheet pan. Place this in the oven, 350 degrees until it has an internal temperature of 150 to 160 degrees. Now for our final course, the sweet potato panna cotta. Do you know that there are all different varieties of sweet potatoes? And one of my favorites to use for this dish is a purple sweet potato.
It's an Asian variety. What I have here is some sweet potato butter made with the purple sweet potatoes. Quite simply, a little bit of apple juice and some sweet potatoes that we've cooked down to what we have here. I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the saucepan. Followed by some Greek yogurt. I like mine really sweet, so I'm gonna add a little bit of honey. We're gonna mix all these ingredients together. Make sure that yogurt gets good and folded in. Now I'm going to add gelatin, the key ingredient in the panna cotta. I'm going to do this off the heat a little bit. Now that we've got this evenly mixed, I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the flame, make sure all this gelatin's bloomed in. And we're going to go to our custard cups with this. When we come back, we're going to review this beautiful sweet potato meal with you. One other great thing about buying locally is you can get more bang for your buck by canning. There's a canning session going on behind me here at the Carrboro Farmers Market. Another great way to purchase and buy locally from your local farms. Here are our dishes today. We have our sweet potato and leek soup, our seared pork tenderloin with caramelized onions, grilled asparagus, and sweet potato gratin, and our purple sweet potato panna cotta. You know, sweet potatoes are not only good, they're good for you. Until next time, no matter where you live, stay thankfully local. I'm Chef Chuck.